What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Plain Sight Podcast, and my name is Alex Sons. I'm here with my good old buddies, my good old pals, as usual. Cam Jordan. Cam, what it is?
What it do?
And Zachary Kuyat. Zach, what's up?
I'm having a great time here, man.
And today, guys, this is a special moment in the Plain Sight Podcast's history.
It's not that special.
We have our very first guest on the Plain Sight Podcast. I'm here to introduce to you guys Tyler Jordan. Tyler, what's up?
What's up, gentlemen? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, tell me a
thanks
little
for
bit about
being here.
yourself, Tyler.
About myself,
Yeah, your passions.
Tyler likes long walks on the beach.
There we
I
go.
hate the
Yeah,
beach.
give us your dating profile.
I hate the beach. The sand
Well,
gets
that's
everywhere,
something.
and it's gross.
Oh,
It's coarse and
Everywhere?
rough. It gets everywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of the beach. I am 8 years older than all of you guys, and so
Yep.
I'm
You're
thankful
old.
that you're just lowering your standards, or that for some reason you think I deserve to be here, which I don't. But I'm a huge fan of this show. I've listened to exactly 1.5 full episodes, and so
Yes.
I was listening just today to the Continuum episode.
Guys,
And-
we finally found our listener.
yeah, and it was
found them.
It was so funny to me because like y'all were like 6 or 7 when that album came out,
10.
but like
9,
I was
10.
I was like 16 or 17, and so very formidable when John Mayer was doing his thing. So it was fun to hear y'all listen to that. But anyway, that's enough about me. I didn't really
Tyler,
share
have
anything,
we talked
but that's
about?
okay.
Have we ever talked about why I became a John Mayer fan? Have we ever had this
Wait,
conversation?
before we do this, can we clarify that we have siblings on the pod
Yeah,
before
Oh.
it gets a little...
yeah.
Who?
Zach and Alex, right?
Yeah, it's me and Alex. We haven't ever brought that up before.
We're all
but
sisters in Christ.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Oh, man.
Tyler is my older brother.
True,
This is Cam, in case you don't know us and don't know our voices yet.
true.
No, Tyler's my older brother. So Tyler, when it was my maybe like 10th birthday, is when I met Ashley.
Yep.
You left
Yep.
my birthday. Do you know where you went?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
The John Mayer tour.
Yep. And I was mad.
You were.
I was like,
did you even know
I
who
don't
Mayer
know.
was when you were 10?
No, that's what I'm saying. This is when I became a fan. 'cause
You
out of
got
spite, I was like, I'm
Ninja
gonna go
Cat
listen to
books
this
for your
guy.
birthday. Don't tell me you were.
The Warrior series. Are we gonna act like those weren't fire? That's our next podcast.
This is the energy I need you both to bring to the game later, okay?
Yeah.
Our next series is literally the Warriors books. Anyway, so I was mad. I was like, listen, I don't know who John Mayer is.
John
but
Mayer.
I want to go listen out of spite. And I was like, wait, this dude's fired.
Yeah.
So I fell in love. So thank you for ditching me on my 10th birthday.
It created something
I'm pretty sure I
beautiful.
had
All right.
tickets to that show before I remembered that it was your birthday. So
Oh, that
Let it go.
100% checks out.
So Tyler is here because he did a special thing, and that special thing is he requested we did a specific podcast. And so Tyler, we're gonna break this down, but Tyler's gonna give a review. Today we're breaking down Space Jam. Tyler, what is Space Jam?
Space Jam. Space Jam
It's a Space Jam.
is
Everybody get up.
Space Jam is an experience.
Okay.
It's more than a movie. It's more than a soundtrack. It is a way of life. And so, no, for me, like, honestly, so I was just talking about this to somebody last week because we tried to do like a movie watch party with our students and watch Space Jam on Netflix. And none of the students showed up. So Gen Z is hopeless. But I was talking to somebody about
We
it.
are Gen Z.
during the coronavirus.
To clarify.
Well,
We're
I know,
somewhere in the
barely. But someone asked me like what genre is Space Jam?
Ooh.
And I said for
That's
me, Space Jam for me is like what Lion K is to music. Like it doesn't have a genre, it doesn't have a category. It's just like it's its own thing.
They exist outside
yeah.
of the containment
you
of
They
can't-
the
transcend
classification.
genre.
It's not just a cartoon. It's not just a basketball movie. It's not a rom-com. Like, no way. So,
Although that's there.
but Space Jam is in my top 3 movies of all time for sure. Not because it's
Wow.
like that great of a movie, but because of what it has done for me, I guess.
Can you round out that top 3 for us?
Oh man.
I want to see what is to you on the same level as Space Jam.
Holy cow.
I have a feeling some like Dark Knight.
I think Dark Knight is up
for you.
there.
Yeah.
Good one.
Ocean's 11 is always toward the top for me as well.
Super similar movies: Space Jam, Dark Knight, and Ocean's 11.
Yep. Yep. I have a very specific taste when it comes to movies.
Typecast as an audience.
Yeah.
So, quick Space Jam rundown. Here's what happens. Aliens from a faraway planet that run a weird amusement park thing are looking for attractions because their amusement park is no bueno. It sucks. Boss man says, look, it's got to be better. They go and try and get the Looney Tunes. When they go and get the Looney Tunes, they're challenged to a game of basketball. Tyler, please give me any kind of rebuttal you have if I'm telling this wrong.
It sounds so
Indie
stupid
aliens.
to listen to. Like, it's such a dumb...
It's a little bit stupid to watch if we're going to be really
Remember,
honest.
this
here.
is the greatest movie of all time. And if anyone knows about the greatest movie of all time, that would be me. But,
We just had a very heated debate about this. We're not getting back into this. We can't do this on 2 different episodes, Alex. Go.
wait for the Heart of Life pod. But they go up and they find 5 basketball quote-unquote stars. I have no clue why Sean Bradley is there. And
4 stars and also Sean Bradley.
they take their powers, these aliens, so that they can play against the Looney Tunes. They end up becoming these big giant things, label themselves the Monstars, and the Looney Tunes go and find retired Michael Jordan, baseball playing Michael Jordan, to play alongside of them. They play against the aliens for the sake of the world. The Looney Tune world. And, spoiler alert, Michael Jordan wins. Extendo arm. It's awesome. Space Jam. Zach, we just watched Space Jam. Quick hitters. You watched Space Jam. What are you feeling? I'm just going to go through some of my notes here in a second. I'm going to pull those up, talk about Space Jam.
If I just watched Space Jam, the thing on the top of my mind is what just happened. Space Jam is like if you put whoever ran WB at the time and also the commissioner of basketball, and they just did a bunch of cocaine, and they were like, I don't know, what if like Michael Jordan, his arm got really big and he played basketball against aliens. Space Jam's crazy. Hey,
and it made $1 million.
I gotta ask this question.
Millions, I should
yeah,
say.
230.4 million to be exact. Put some respect on it.
He didn't even look it up. He just knew that.
I got a lot of questions about
Yeah.
this movie. I'm gonna save.
We have a resident Space Jam expert here.
Yeah, I'm gonna save my big ones for later. Quick little one. In the basketball game, the pivotal basketball game in the movie, one of the Monstars notably breathes fire. Did he get that power from Charles Barkley?
Yeah.
Can Charles
100%.
Barkley do that?
I mean, it's either him or
Yes.
Muggsy. So
Also, a thing I thought was incredible was just the staging to put Muggsy Bogues next to the tallest person alive right there at the end of the movie.
It's awesome.
You could
Granted,
stack 2
every
Muggsy
person
Bogues
is
on
the
top
tallest
of each
person
other.
alive next to Muggsy Bogues. So
how tall is Muggsy? Let's find out.
I
Not
think it's like
very.
5'3".
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
5'3".
like 5'3".
That's
it's
real
crazy.
small.
So
I had that
here's
question
the
on Trivia
thing.
Crack the other day.
I'm gonna try and limit myself. I don't know what the over under is on Sean Bradley comments from Alex.
7.5.
They're gonna be pretty high. But can we all agree that the blue one is definitely Sean Bradley?
Clearly.
100%. 100%.
And the little red one is Muggsy
Easy.
Bogues,
Has
obviously.
to be.
I want the biggest one to be Muggsy.
There's this moment
Which one gets his
in
pants
the
pulled down?
movie.
Is that Chuck?
Oh, has
Probably.
to be.
It's gotta
Without
be.
a doubt. Or it's Pat Ewing, like the Eastern playoffs for several years in a row. But Jordan at the end, and he's telling them to put their hand on the ball to get it back. He says, Pat, Charles, the rest of you guys.
Yeah.
And that's basically what the cast was
Yeah.
for these basketball players. You have Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, and then the other guys. Even though Larry Johnson was cold. But
I love that the credits for a movie like this, like the opening credits, it'll list Michael Jordan and then Bugs Bunny as if Bugs Bunny was an actor in this
Yeah.
movie and
Like,
not an animated
The
character
second
with
most
a voice
important
actor.
character. Yeah, exactly.
oh man. All right, so every single time we go through a movie, music, a TV show, we want to break down the big theme. How can we relate this to our lives as Christians? That's the whole point of the Plain Sight podcast. Some of these are going to sound silly because we're talking about a basketball game against aliens to save the world. But here we go. So one of my big themes, and this is probably not the big theme, but I wanted to bring this up to kind of twist it because it's not silly enough to be a stretch in the silly zone, but it is a little bit of a stretch. And the whole idea, and one, it's crazy to think in this podcast. Right now, we're podcasting this during all the coronavirus stuff. It's almost eerie how similar the way they shut down the league and they talk about this, quote, bacteria that's taking away players' powers. What a tongue twister. It shouldn't have been one. And it's eerie and a little awkward, but there's this moment where all these players become helpless in a court. So they've trained their whole lives. Charles Barkley, Chuck can't even catch a basketball anymore. They're getting donked on the head. Who knows what's happening? And so my thing that I want to bring to the table, my stretch from the cheese factory itself is, one of my big themes this made me think is, what if the things that defined me were taken away from me? How would I react? Zach, say something profound.
Okay, let me try to say something profound about Space Jam. Well, I think you know, as much as it was like odd to get there, it's kind of a long walk to get there. It's kind of what a lot of us are dealing with right now, is that, you know, our normal cultural identity doesn't really exist anymore. So many of us, I think, when somebody asks like, "Hey, who are you?" the first thing they want to identify themselves is, well, this is my job. This is kind of what I do. But so many people don't have jobs right now that's really hard to do. When even when I'm saying like, well, I'm a student at the University of Central Missouri, kinda. I'm really a student in my bedroom in Kansas City. Like that's kind of all I am at the moment, you know? So in the same way, like career for me, I'm an actor, but I can't go out for auditions. Nobody can put on shows right now. So it's hard for me to define like what I am and who I am. And I think it's that kind of moment where you have to fall back into our identity in Christ, and what we've been claimed to be by him, and the familyhood and the ownership that he claims over us, in that we always have that to fall back into. We have a community of other believers to fall back into and become a part of, even when everything else sort of gets stripped away. That's my Space Jam thoughtful take.
I think that was fantastic, Zach. My one question, is familyhood a word?
It probably. You can't prove to me that it's not.
Tyler, you are Space Jam pretty much. What do you have? Anything?
You know, I was looking at the lyrics of R. Kelly's "I Believe I Can Fly," and
Yeah.
here's the first verse. "I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song.
Yeah.
But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. Leaning.
Wow.
I was watching it today and heard that lyric, and I was like, wait a minute, where
Right?
did that come from? And I believe I can fly.
Yeah. No, but like, so you know, for me, you know, there's a lot of weird themes that, like y'all are saying. It's a stretch. Kind of like Michael Jordan's arm. Like, that's how much of a stretch this is to make this like any sort of, you know, Christian movie. But I think when you look at MJ, like he was, you know, he was known, he was great. Like he was, you know, probably known as one of the greatest of all time when he retired the first time. Yeah. And then he went and tried to do something that honestly he wasn't that great at, whatever his motivation was, whether it was to honor his dad or whatever. But then he's
Still boo-boo.
Yeah. But then he's literally sucked down a golf hole and is asked to help the Looney Tunes win this game. But like, for them, it's more than a game. It's like, hey, this is life and death for us. And so, man, we need your help. And so MJ, like, I mean, humbles himself. He humbles himself.
That's good.
Wow.
And
That's good.
And says, hey, I'll put aside whatever I'm doing, and I'll help these guys out. And then in the climax of the movie, when he finds out what the nasty, do y'all know what the little guys are called before they become the Monstars?
Aliens.
Do they have a different name?
Yep.
It's not in the
No
movie, is
idea.
it? Do you just know this already?
Wow.
It's the Nerd Lux.
The nerd. What does
Whoa.
that even mean?
Nerd Lux. So
Like with an X?
Lucks. Nerd.
Fun fact: that was the original name for the Geek Squad, but they decided
Your luck was called in
to.
high school. But,
And probably right now.
but no, my point was this: was when he finds out what the Nerd Lux did to take the talent from his friends, he has
Yeah.
like his and forgive me for saying this, like his Messiah moment. He says, "Hey, if you all win, you give me. Like I will sacrifice myself if you all win. But if we win, then you got to give them back what you stole from them, and this thing is over with." And here's what I love about MJ: is he knew in that moment that he was not going to lose. The GOAT,
True.
greatest
Yeah.
of all time. He knew no matter what, I'm not going to lose. That was the spirit he had. That, well, maybe we'll get to that later. But that's why he's.
Oh, it almost got a little controversial right there. I can't.
I think actually, I think you did hit something really good in there that I hadn't thought about. Is MJ had given up on basketball? He says multiple times, "I'm not a basketball player
He's a
anymore."
baseball player now.
Yeah, I'm a baseball player, and there is something about a lot of times we have these things that we're gifted for and we should be doing, but we've given up on them because we're bored of them or we don't want to be defined that way. When really, the way we should be helping our circle, helping the people around us, impacting the church in a Christian perspective is by using the gifts we've been giving and humbling ourselves to say, no matter where I'm at in life right now, this is my role. Cam, we haven't heard from you in ages.
Yeah.
We're not going to pretend like your mic cut out. Keep talking.
No, we're back and better than ever. I actually want to come back, Zach. You kind of talked about what would happen when what's really important to you gets taken away, kind of that idea. Tyler, actually, you have kind of a story about. Isn't that like a big part of your personal story? Is like that happening to you? Like that's what led you down the line becoming a pastor, right?
No, I got tricked into it.
You got tricked.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar. Yeah, a little bit.
I remember you. So you were a drummer and a hockey player, and I mean, you still are. I guess not a great one, but
No mercy in the Jordan family. Come out of nowhere for no reason.
Airline jokes coming soon.
Wow.
he's got a big head. I can't gas him too much anyway. But no, then you broke your wrist, and it kind of led you down a place of not really knowing what to do with your time. And I think that's a kind of a big point here. It's like we're all in a position where we've had things we're passionate about taken away in the last month or so, just with this current situation. And so I know for me, like my student organizations, that's something I'm passionate about. And so losing that opportunity, it's like, okay, well, what is defining me? What's motivating me? Is my motivation here with these student organizations, is that it? Is it just that? Because that's like not very sustainable. That's not really anything. But if my motivation for making an impact with these student organizations or with drumming, with hockey, with music, whatever it is, if that motivation is coming from Jesus and my goal to point to him, then like if I lose this, I'm cool because my motivation is still here. But I think sometimes we lose that. It's this idea of when these basketball players lost their skill, they had nothing left. But for us, that doesn't have to be it. If you lose your opportunity to point to Jesus the way that you planned on, if your goal is still to point to Jesus, then like you're cool. But I think we lose sight of that.
You Gucci.
That's one way
Do
to
it
put
again. I'm about to get a Baptist stomp going on in here. Praise break.
Baptist stuff.
So on 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Yes, 1
Exactly.
and 3 specifically.
But I wanna bring up a question to y'all.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Tyler, you brought up R. Kelly.
Yeah.
And so
No.
I think there's no surprise. R. Kelly been in the news a lot.
Probably won't make any other features on
No.
our podcast.
Yeah, I think not.
So here's my controversial conversation I want to have. It's the
boy.
controversial corner
Oh
with Cam.
gosh.
How you're starting this with R. Kelly? What do you have?
No, I
It
just
can only get better from here, folks.
I just want to know. It's a common thing of kind of cancel culture of like
Yeah.
When somebody does something wrong, should we protest their content? So if I disagree with what R. Kelly did, which I do, like that's not up for debate, does that mean I shouldn't
agreed.
indulge his music? Or if other content creators, we talk about Chris Brown, he not the worship leader for Elevation, the other Chris Brown.
Yeah.
When he's obviously known for pretty horrible things, should I indulge in listening to his music, or should I just outright say, like, I'm not having any of it? Do you personally see a point in separating the musician from the content, or is it all in one piece?
I think there's this. I'll take the lead on this since I know nobody wants to answer this question.
Hey, I got the follow up. I'm ready.
Yeah, that's where you're wrong.
I think.
Yeah, I knew y'all did
all
want to
got
answer this. That's why I brought it up.
I think for me personally, is it wrong to keep when I consume someone's content, I'm quite literally sending money their way.
Right.
That's why the content's there. So is it wrong for me to fuel someone doing something that I know is wrong? Yes. But is it possible for us to do that with every single person? That once you get to a certain point, it's almost impossible for us to navigate that knowingly. And so I don't think there's this terrible conscience that you have by listening to a beautiful song that a terrible person wrote. We have that all throughout history. But at the core, I think it is obviously important for us to say that not only do we not condone this, but we think there should be justice.
Yeah, I think my take on it, coming maybe out of the world of music and into other pop culture, the Me Too movement kind of started in Hollywood in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And like personally, I was against Casey Affleck winning the Oscar that year because he had, that past and he had a recent set of allegations against him. But at the same time, I'll still watch Baby Driver, even though Kevin Spacey is in it. And I think the separation there is celebrating the art versus celebrating the artist.
Yeah.
There's probably something to be said for like movies being a bigger collaborative project than maybe a solo album is.
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at a film, I think it's still okay for me to say like the first few seasons of House of Cards are very good. That's a very good show, even if Kevin Spacey, we now know, is like kind of problematic and has some real issues in his past. But the difference being that I don't want to give Casey Affleck an Oscar because that's me celebrating him in spite of some of the things that have gone on in his life. And I can still say Manchester by the Sea was a good movie. I'm throwing a lot of movies out here, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway.
You're so smart, man. You're so cool.
I can still say Manchester by the Sea was a good movie, but I'm not necessarily like trying to put awards on the shelf of Casey Affleck.
Sure.
How does it compare to Space Jam? Better or like not even close
now
to being
that's
as
tough.
good?
How many
I
Monstars
would
are there?
much rather watch Space Jam than I would watch Manchester by the Sea because Manchester by the Sea is sad, and
Good.
Space Jam makes me feel good.
Is Muggsy Bogues in Manchester by the Sea?
There is not nearly enough Muggsy Bogues in Manchester by the Sea.
You gotta look really close. or you're gonna miss it.
Muggsy
Yeah,
by the
he's
Sea.
small, so you can
Manchester
miss
by
him
the
pretty
Muggsy.
easily. Muggsy by the Sea. You went from Manchester by the Muggsy and not Muggsy by the Sea.
I started with Muggsy by the Sea.
Oh,
I
missed
did
it
both.
completely.
So when we do these movie podcasts, one of the big things that we don't necessarily do with the songs is we want to dive into character analysis. We did a little prep. We had a lot of different characters we wanted to talk about, and we settled on one that really, really reflects our hearts, that really moved us.
Purple Monstar?
And that would be
Swackhammer.
Bill Murray.
Oh.
Bill Murray.
Do you know who Swackhammer is?
I don't. Please.
He's the boss.
Please.
Danny DeVito.
Oh, that's his
Swackhammer, Danny
name.
DeVito is Swackhammer? I was
Swackhammer.
only calling him Danny DeVito, but a goblin.
That's actually the whole name. Swackhammer for sure.
That's gonna be Zach's game. Is if Danny DeVito played this mythical creature,
Yeah.
what would his name be?
That's good.
Tyler, give us Bill Murray's character analysis.
Well, here, I was thinking about this today. Like, do they ever actually call him Bill in this movie? like I'm assuming he's playing himself, but do they ever actually like say his name?
I think
thought
so.
so.
Did not.
I
Think
just
about
watched
that.
it
Maybe.
today, and I didn't register it that
Okay.
he was somebody else. I think they call him Bill Murray.
I mean, because most of those guys they just appear as themselves, but I can't remember if they ever call him that or not. But Bill Murray, he's the real MVP of this game, if we can be honest.
course he is.
I mean, he's like Kyrie, the real MVP.
Yeah, Tyler, we had this
but anyway.
conversation. Kyrie hit the game-winning shot, therefore
Therefore,
he deserved that MVP.
I will refrain from all Kyrie talk on this podcast,
this is pre-breaking Alex's heart. So
unless you want an explicit label on this pod.
no, I think when I was talking about Bill Murray, like he's the guy that we can all relate to. Like he's so desperately, when the whole like epidemic is going on in the NBA, he's talking to Michael and Larry Bird on the golf course, and so he's talking to Michael and he says like they're going to need some new players, and so it's going to take some guys that never thought they were cut out, but maybe they are. And he's like, "Do you think I have a shot?" And Mike's like, "No."
No.
He's like, "You don't have a shot." He's like, "Why? Is it because I'm white?" And Michael's like, "No, I mean Larry's white." And Bill Murray looks at her. He goes, "Larry's not white. Larry's clear." But and then throughout the whole movie, like he just wants to be somebody he's not made to be. He wants to do something he's not created to do. And on a lot of levels, I wish I was taller and darker and could jump higher so I could play in the NBA. But I think we all go through times where we're like, man, I just wish I was more like this, or man, I wish I had, the voice that Alex does, or the hair that Zach does, or the beard that Cam does, even though I'm 8 years older. Like, it's just like it's so easy to get discontent, and I think we see that with Bill. But then he gets his moment of glory, plays for about 10 seconds, and is gassed and realizes, hey, this isn't for me. So I'm gonna quit trying to be somebody I'm not.
Gonna go out on top.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, in my notes, I have, and I think it's in all caps.
It is.
Yeah, I have Bill Murray retires on top, legend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right before that, you also
that's a really
had
good point,
extendo
though, yeah.
arm. Just to point out,
did
and
have
right before that, you
extendo
had
arm.
in quotes "you the duck." So
You the duck.
Maybe we should take a crop of my notes and put it on Instagram.
yeah, 100%.
And let the people guess
So-
what movie it's about before you tell them.
Oh my gosh, yes, do that. Do that Saturday. So here's the best part of the pod, no cap. We're gonna take this with our new sponsor, and that is Bill Murray's Silly Zone, featuring several different things. But here we like to have a good time. We like to just do whatever we find fun, and it is headlined by the greatest podcast game show name in podcast game show history, Laffery with Zachary. But first, we're just going to talk about some of our hot takes. We're just going to talk about some of the crazy things about this movie, and
Some.
I'm going to open the floor.
Just to clarify, some. We don't have time to talk about all of them.
Some. We do not
There's
have time.
too many crazy things to talk about, all the crazy things, but I got one that
Gonna
I
be-
want to talk about.
Oh, please.
Okay, it's not a secret that I'm not like a basketball guy. My sport of choice is baseball and then
Yeah.
football. Basketball has never held my interest.
Guys, we're trying.
So hard.
I think Space Jam presents the perfect version of basketball in that it only does the things that I want it to do. I made sure to keep track while I was watching the movie today. Only 2 scoring plays come from outside the paint.
analytics.
There are 2 layups. There is 1 weird mid-range jumper that Michael takes. And then the guy from Jurassic Park gets squished, and that's the only 3-pointer in the entire game. Everything else is dunks. Guys, why is basketball not only dunks? It's the best part of basketball. The game ends on a buzzer-beating dunk. What is that? A buzzer-beating dunk? Why is that not
Buzzer-beating
an option?
extendo arm.
Yeah, his
dunk.
arm was long
Wow,
enough for
okay.
multiple of us to social distance. That's all I gotta say.
Wait,
Zach, let me
Does he actually dunk, or does he do the Blake Griffin and just like throw it in the hoop?
He does the Blake Griffin.
It is kind
yeah.
of more. He just
It was
gets above it.
They
and
called it
throws
a dunk in the dunk contest, therefore we got to call it a dunk on the podcast.
Wow.
Blake Griffin's dunk contest winning dunk is the most overrated dunk in the history of dunks,
Yeah,
but that's a
forgive me
talk
for
for another
even
time.
mentioning his name in the same conversation as.
Thank you.
Space
Thank
Jam.
you. But there is, and Zach, just here's the thing. I have a similar take, but a little different. If the Toon Squad were a little more analytics forward, they probably would have ran away with this game. You mentioned that they didn't take any outside shots. The thing is, 3 is more than 2. If they would have targeted, they would have put 2 guys out in the corner. It's the closest shot. It's the most efficient shot. You take shots at the rim, in the corners. If they would have just started jacking them up, gotten 20 to 33s up there, they probably could have ran away with this, and they wouldn't have even needed all the drama.
So the Houston Rockets are the modern day Looney Tunes. Is that what we're saying?
They should have
I
been.
was also going to make a point that that Bill Murray is James Harden because he says he doesn't play defense and he just shoots.
I like that a lot.
They're pretty much the same.
Zach, I wanna talk to your speed here and go a baseball route with this from
Yeah,
the
let's
very
do
few
that.
baseball scenes. And my stretch is that the scene where the catcher is telling Mike what pitches are coming is what inspired the Houston Astros.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Very clear.
that's not as much like a stretch as much as it's just what happened. But knowing that, I forgive them. They're inspired by Space Jam. It's okay.
I do not.
No, I will never forgive the Astros. I actually really.
No, me being upset with the Astros means that in some world I'm on Team Dodgers, which I will never do.
That's interesting.
So
No,
That's a take.
I don't think it means that. I don't,
it means
just,
feeling sorry for Clayton Kershaw, and you know what I will never do? Feel sorry for Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah,
I do feel sorry
I
for
don't think it
Clayton
means
Kershaw.
that. No, I relieve you from that.
You've been freed.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
thank you.
before we get into Lafferty with Zachary, I do have one more thing, and I know the over-under was probably at 5. Here comes number 3. I get they were trying to take a home run swing. It was probably a budget thing, like we can get Sean Kemp for this amount, or we can get Sean Bradley for this amount. He's the young prospect. Here in 5-10 years, we're going to look really good with this star-studded cast, and we save some money. And 30 years later, 25 years later, Sean Bradley being in this movie and being labeled a, quote, star is probably the most heartbreaking part of all of this. I can get Muggsy because he's a meme. He got buckets and he was 5'3". Larry Johnson was just an athlete. But Sean Bradley? Oh my gosh, he's one of the bigger busts throughout the 90s. And him being in the movie makes my heart hurt very much. That'd be like if Anthony Bennett was on Space Jam 2.
Well, yeah. No, that's good. That's a good take.
That'd be like if they did a baseball version starring Jacoby Ellsbury.
Oh man.
Who would be on the baseball
before-
version of Space Jam?
Mike Trout, clearly.
Okay, who else?
If you did a past one, Barry Bonds.
Oh, modern day. They made Space Jam right
Mike
now.
Trout.
Same plot. Who are the? We'll stick with 5 because.
So Mike Trout retires from baseball and plays in the G League. Like, is that?
Oh, I'm saying.
that's what it
No,
is.
Mike Trout retires from baseball and then he becomes a running back. He's trying to play football because you got to
In the
keep the
XFL.
circle going.
So-
then,
I see.
then you can do a football one where he becomes
Wait.
like a golfer.
Where I'm trying to go with this
Okay,
is
let me-
who, if you're the Monstars,
Who are the 5?
who, I guess we'll go 5. We'll go with a weird. I don't know if we want to go 9, but who?
Nine's a
who's
No, not
whose
9.
powers do they steal? Like if you're a Monstar, who's the first person you're going for? Whose power
Well,
do you want?
the Astros bench coach.
Yeah,
Yep, the Astros bench
their
coach.
cameraman. Actually, no, he got
I
caught.
think for me, first power I go for, Matt Chapman's all-world third base defense better than anyone else on the planet.
Shut up. I'm
Literally,
done with this.
literally
doing
not.
Thanks
You're
for
doing it
having
on
me, guys.
purpose.
Literally,
It's rude.
that is just absolutely false. On Nolan's 29th birthday,
Cam,
disrespect
this
a
is
man
on
like
you.
this?
No, this is
How
on
is this
you,
on me?
Cam.
How is this on me?
You lobbed him a softball. What did you expect him to do
Yeah,
with
you
that?
did. You put that right up there.
You got to play chess and not checkers.
Just
you just put your queen
because
out there to be
he has the
slaughtered, my
opportunity
friend.
to be blasphemous does not mean he needs to take it.
Well, on a similar note, I'm definitely going to take some of the best talent in the NL Central. I'm going to probably take Anthony Rizzo.
outta here.
I think,
Yeah. How's that feel?
Yeesh.
Okay, here's the thing. We'll go around, we'll pick our person, and we're going to Lafferty with Zachary before things get nasty. And so,
Nasty, just because of that. No, not really. I'd go Nolan. It's his birthday. Happy birthday,
go
Nolan.
Nolan? Sure, go for it.
deserve
Kuyat?
okay, so here's the thing.
Can't pick Mike Trout.
I'm not going to pick Mike Trout. Mike Trout's our star, clearly.
Yeah.
I could go for
The
like
most
pure talent. I could go
boring
for like a Bellinger.
star ever.
What I want though is somebody who I'm gonna recognize when they become a Monstar
Ooh.
because they've got a really specific thing going on.
Yeah.
And out of loyalty, I'm gonna take Zach Greinke because I want a Monstar who's gonna get up there and throw a 95-mile-an-hour heater and then also roll one to home plate. I want that part of the game. And he's gonna like talk about Chipotle in the dugout for no reason.
And then go hit a home run.
And he's gonna hit dingers. So
He's gonna hit dingers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm taking Trevor Bauer for that same reason.
now Trevor Bauer's.
I'll take Trevor Bauer just for his podcasting abilities.
Tyler, who you got?
Wow. Gerardo Parra. He's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's a
Ooh,
cool
baby
answer.
He'd
shark.
be the jokester.
There you go.
I like
The
that.
Monstars.
I like that.
He's the fun one.
I have two.
And
I have
now-
two really quick hot takes.
Please,
First
Brent.
is this: MJ has a terrible swing. He does not look good striking out. I don't
Correct.
care what those guys say.
Oh, it's
No,
awful.
they were wrong.
But I think MJ's a decent actor. It wasn't cringy. I think he
You
was
know-
pretty decent.
He kind of was, and I was ready for everyone in that movie to be Charles Barkley, who can only be like weird Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
And even when he's just being himself, I think he's being a bad actor at it. But MJ was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I actually have hope for when they inevitably do this again, and it's LeBron. Because
They're not doing it again.
In,
They're not doing it again.
they've already said
can't.
they're doing it again.
It's in
They've
the
said
books.
a lot of
They've
things,
already done
and
it.
they've already shut it down once. I don't believe it. It's not going to happen.
Well, if it does
LeBron
happen,
wishes. LeBron wishes
listen,
they would do it again.
LeBron has already been in movies though, and he wasn't bad. And I
Yeah.
would accept. I would trust him to play himself. In
I'm
a
not
movie.
seeing it.
I'd
I don't
prefer to
think
get
the
one with
movie would be as
Giannis.
good as Space Jam 1.
Give me one with Luca.
But I do trust LeBron with that.
I think what hurts the most to Tyler is that you just labeled it Space Jam 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, that's because
that feels
Space
weird.
Jam is Patient Zero, and everything else is just like a mutation of the original Space Jam.
Yeah.
And now, for the greatest podcast game show in the history of podcast game shows, give it up for your host of Laffery with Zachary Kuya. Take it away.
Oh boy, that name every time. Okay, so Alex, I'm gonna apologize to you up front.
No.
Because this is a two-player game, and when we have the opportunity
Oh no!
to pit a sibling rivalry against itself,
Yes, do it. Oh,
On the
please
show?
let me. I will commentate. Go.
Alex, you're
Jeez.
gonna keep score for me, so I don't have to think about that because
I love this. That
often
means I
get
can't
wrong.
lose.
That's right. You cannot lose this episode. This game is called. Okay, so here's the thing. This movie has two halves, right? It has a basketball player's half and it has a Looney Tunes half. There's
Okay.
no way I was going to bring you basketball information that I knew that you didn't.
Yeah, that's
So
not a
I
thing.
threw basketball out the window as soon as I started making this game, and I said, "What can I do with the Looney Tunes?" So here's what I came up with. Today's game is called Looney Tunes character, medicinal herb, or both.
Holy cow.
The fact that there's any that are both.
This game is very simple. I'm going to say a name. You're going to
it's
tell
not.
me if it's a Looney Tunes character, a medicinal herb, or both. Everything I have for you, I can't even get through it. Everything I have for you falls into one or both of those categories. And that's it right there. You'll each get 4 questions. I do have a bonus question tiebreaker. if that should come to pass. And
So you have
as our
9 of
guest-
these?
I have 9 of these, yes, and I think all 9 of them could go either way. So, as our guest, Tyler, I'm going to throw to you first, I think. It feels right.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tyler, round 1, Looney Tunes character, medicinal herb, or both? Tansy.
I'm going to go both.
Tansy is only a medicinal herb. It's a medicinal herb used as a bug repellent. As far as I can find, there is no Looney Tunes character named Tansy.
Yet.
But I mean, it seems like an inevitability.
Seems like
at some
there's a
point.
trend. So
Next week's sponsor, Looney Tunes.
Or medicinal herbs.
We're sponsored just by herbalism next week. Okay, Cam, your round 1 question. Willoughby.
Looney
it's a
Tune.
Pokemon trick question.
Looney Tune.
A Looney Tune? Cam, that is correct. Willoughby is a Looney
Wow.
Tune dog characterized by, quote, low intelligence.
Let's go.
That's a good
Good one for me.
round 1 lead you got going there. Tyler,
Oh,
I know
Willoughby.
we'll
Low
stress you out,
intelligence.
but
Made for me. Too easy.
all right, Tyler, this is your chance to tie the game back up. Tyler, Inky.
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 What are my options?
Looney Tunes character, medicinal herb, or both.
Okay. I'm going to go Looney Tunes character.
That is correct. Inky
Wow.
is a Looney Tune little African boy who would definitely get Warner Brothers in trouble today.
Really?
You could not put a character like Inky on TV in 2020.
No, I remember Inky
No,
from my
sir.
childhood. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? All right, Cam. Looking to take back the lead. Mm-hmm. Marshmallow.
Herb.
That is correct. Marshmallow is an herb used to treat inflammation and irritation.
Also
It
tastes good on my
actually has
s'mores.
no relation. It has no relation to the marshmallow you might use for s'mores. They just have the same name, which I
So-
thought was strange.
So that marshmallow treats inflammation and irritation. The other marshmallow creates inflation.
Sure, that makes sense.
And the other one's
that bars?
a DJ.
No, it wasn't bars.
I don't know if it was bars, but it was
okay.
something.
I'll edit that out.
But keep
Alex,
us
after 2
talking
rounds-
about it.
Well, yeah, here's the
Okay.
thing is I'm going to bring it back up later, so you can't take it out.
On the count of 3, 2, 1, let's all laugh like I said something really funny.
Alex,
3, 2, 1.
after 2 rounds, what's our score sitting at? All I want to know is what the score
Where's our
is
score sitting?
Yeah.
It's 2 to 1.
Yeah, in favor of who? Who you got?
Cameron Jordan, sadly.
Yeah, baby.
I really like that you had one job and it was to keep score here. You didn't have to play, and you did kind of forget what the score was.
Yeah, a little
That
bit.
was Zach quizzing Alex. Alex, you kind of just got a point because you did answer one of Zach's questions that he knew
Well, that's interesting.
that you did
That's
not.
the third aspect of this game. All right, Tyler, we're going to throw it back to you. Round 3. Nasty Canasta.
Oh my gosh.
That's both.
Please be both.
Both.
Nasty Canasta is only a Looney Tune outlaw,
my
considered to be dumb muscle. He shows up a lot in the Old West versions of the cartoons. Nasty Canasta.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel good
I
about
really
that
like
one.
the both option in this because it really spices up the situation.
I need one to be both, but I also really appreciate if none of them are.
None of them are both. I just
be
put
so
it in
mad.
there just to throw you off.
Yeah.
It's like when teachers put none of the above as one of the options.
And you're like, oh, well, maybe it is none of the above. I don't know.
Yeah. Am I close or am I just way off?
All right, Cam, I'm throwing it back to you.
Okay.
Round 3. Your question is
Throwing it back, read with Zachary.
Quick Brown Fox.
Quick brown,
brown
fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way this is an herb.
That has to be a Looney Tune. But like, wait, let me decide if it's both. I really want it to be. No, it's a Looney Tune.
That is correct. Quick Brown Fox is a Looney Tune that you'd never guess it is a Quick Brown Fox.
Whoa.
So how early in the day, Zach, do you send these answers to Cam? Because there's no way he guesses all these and gets them all right
Tyler,
all the
That
It's
time.
one was
incredible
literally
to
the
me.
Wake Brown Fox. You think that's an herb?
Collusion.
Collusion.
No, I'm just saying he must send you the answers because there's no way.
There's absolutely no way.
Alex, you're still mad about 6 for 6 on our first game.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
I
way.
am
I'm still
mad.
mad about 6 for 6 on our first game
I'll
because
also
you
point
went
out-
2 weeks before you got anything wrong.
Maybe, yeah, y'all didn't realize that our first game segment, we didn't get to release, but it was maybe our best one. But
Plainsight Podcast, The Lost Tapes.
Tapes.
All right, we're entering the final round. Alex, what's our score before we go into the final round?
It's Cam has a commanding 3-1 lead.
Well, Alex, how many points is the last round worth?
The last round is worth 3 points.
Oh, cool. Sweet. So it's still anybody's game. Tyler,
Every time.
last round question to you. Valerian.
Like the steel from Game of Thrones.
Possibly.
I'm gonna go herb.
That is correct. Valerian is an herb used to treat insomnia.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
It is, I would like to point out again, also Valerian is like the high language of Game of Thrones.
It's also the city of 1,000 planets in that terrible movie. Cara Delevingne in that one? Why is she an actress? Who knows?
That's
I
our
got
next
nothing, brother. That's
Laughter
all
with
you.
Zachary segment. Why is this person
Why
an
is
actress?
Cara Delevingne an actress? All right, Cam, back to you for the final regular round
I
question.
need this one to be both because none of them have been.
Yeah, that's
Cam.
my same thought.
Holy Basil.
Oh, that's
They
both.
both.
Is it the Looney Tune priest?
Holy Basil is only an herb used to treat
Dang.
colds, flus, and
Wow.
respiratory infections.
Give us the bonus,
Bonus
round just for
question.
fun.
Tyler's our
Bonus
winner.
question. Witch hazel.
That's both.
Both.
That's
to be.
for sure both. That I
sure
wrote this whole
man.
game because I saw that Witch Hazel was a Looney Tune.
Is it like which
I
witch?
saved it for the bonus round.
This is my
Oh,
least.
my
This is my
goodness.
least favorite segment. Let the record show.
So, right
Yeah, but I loved
before,
it. I do
right
this to
before we
entertain
started.
myself, not for you guys.
I know, and we appreciate you for that, even though it is the greatest podcast game show in the history of podcast game shows with the greatest name in podcast game show history. Right before, Tyler sent us a link to spacejam.com. And before we take it out on this one, I want us to just read a couple excerpts from spacejam.com. I am going to click on Planet B-Ball.
Good.
Bold move.
And I wish I could explain how this looks, but if you could just imagine 1996, this is how it looks.
I
Here we
could
go.
have made
If you
this
like-
website on accident.
If you like basketball and you like to jam, go no further. Space Jam isn't just about Michael Jordan meeting the Looney Tunes. It's about a slammin' jammin' game to keep the Looney Tunes out of a failed intergalactic theme park. Rounding out the cast are some of the biggest stars in the NBA making their feature film debut.
Biggest stars, including Sean Bradley.
Sean Bradley.
Four.
What is Sean Bradley's bio?
Play b-ball against the Monstars. Oh, we gotta have Shockwave.
I really like
Shockwave still exists.
Yep.
I like the jump station option on this website, which just takes you to what it calls cool links and hijinks.
I did like
And
that
if you
one.
click on the link to links, you get the Yahoo index of basketball-related links and Warner Brothers animation.
Can I read y'all the behind the jam excerpt?
Please
You sure
do.
can.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most high-tech, high-concept, high-flying films ever made.
So true.
If you've seen this movie, please recognize that it is not. Okay, see
Hey,
the early
hey.
See,
It was in 1996.
yeah,
I'll give you that.
sure.
You were not even a thing in 96, so be respectful.
Okay, but Who Framed Roger Rabbit was already out at this point.
Anyway, see the early sketches
That's what we had for that.
of all new animated characters. Learn how megastar Michael Jordan got a big kiss from classic wisecracking hero Bugs Bunny. Watch as Michael Jordan plays basketball against many strange men in green suits and face masks who never appear in the film.
That's such a good way to describe motion capture.
And to take us out of the silly zone, I'm just going to read you guys. I'm just going to give you some quick stats for Sean Bradley's career.
Oh boy,
He was 7'6",
he certainly was.
Taco Fall.
averaged 10 points and 7 rebounds a game, and never shot over 44%.
So that is better than Taco Fall has done in his career.
Taco Fall is not better than Taco Fall's done in his career if you look at the shooting splits and his per 36 averages. But so from there, we end every single one of these podcasts. But actually, Cam, you've got a last minute segment idea, don't you?
I do. I want to talk about something that we found earlier today that is a lot of fun.
And that's how we're going to round this out.
It is called the All In Challenge. So the All In Challenge is a bunch of celebrities have gotten together and given different like auction items that people can like buy. They can enter in for these raffles. And so some of these are kind of cool. One of them is to be a walk-on role in a Scorsese film with DiCaprio and De Niro. Like, some of these are legit. But some of them, y'all, not so much. So I want to just, for each of us, to kind of give one of these that we, under absolutely no circumstance, would want to have happen in our lifetime. For me, I'll go first, is Justin Bieber coming to my house to sing to me One Less Lonely Girl. That's it.
He's pretty good, man.
One song, and he's going to look me in the eyes and sing One Less Lonely Girl. No, thank you.
Here's my quibble. I don't know if there's anything I want more in life than for Justin Bieber to come into my home.
Then we need to have a lot of
and look me in
conversations.
the eyes and sing One Less Lonely Girl. Tell me that would not be the greatest story icebreaker of all time.
Nobody else can ever say that's happened to them.
I'm not going to spend money to have Justin Bieber come into my house and sing one song and it be One Less Lonely Girl. Just looking me in my eyes. And then leave. If he's going to put on a full concert, maybe. But that one song, under no circumstance do I want the emotional
but it's
scarring
just
that
for
comes
you.
with that.
It's just for you.
Jason Tatum jokingly offered to let whoever wins babysit Deuce, his child, for a day. And there's nothing more I want than to hang out with Jason Tatum and Deuce. So I'll give all the money I have, which still won't do it, but I'm all in.
I'm torn. So it's either the love ballad customized by Robin Thicke.
That one's bad.
Love that one.
But here's why I'm torn, because there's also the ultimate AI experience. What does that include?
Retiring and then losing all your money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, everything else is so specific. Like, sit courtside and play 5-on-5 with Ben Simmons, and then it's like the ultimate AI experience.
The ultimate AI experience sounds terrifying.
Well, there's also the ultimate Gary Vee experience.
Yeah, and what is that? What does that mean?
He just yells at you and tells you you're not working hard enough all day. Until you break down and cry.
How about glamping at Wrigley Field?
I was just looking at that one.
Is that even possible?
Definitely a contender for me is shop and make TikToks with Charlie and Dixie. That sounds like just a terrible day.
Honestly, guys, I feel like if I got the right opportunity, I could be a famous TikTok dancer.
I want nothing more than for you to become a famous TikTok
I feel
dancer.
like if given the right opportunity, I could be a pretty quality TikToker.
I have two more that I want us to talk about.
Yeah, close us out.
This one just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not sure why they really go together. But you get to sit courtside at a Nets game
With Andrew Yang.
and have dinner with Andrew Yang.
I thought about this
Yang,
exact
gang.
Why is he offering courtside Nets tickets?
Do I get $1,000?
Is that part of it? Because all of a sudden, I'm kind of on board for this. Oh, but where's the other one? Oh, yeah, okay. This one I feel like is topical because it actually seems like kind of a cool reward, but I'm now nervous because I've watched Space Jam. You get to golf at Pebble Beach with Justin Timberlake and Bill Murray.
That is the best one. Like,
And super cool,
sure.
but also, do I need to be worried about getting sucked down a golf hole and living in
be.
Toontown?
Could be.
One really
Dream come true.
One really fun one is sitting in a draft war room with Allen Houston and the Knicks. Just knowing
my
I want to be a
gosh.
fly
That's the
on
joke
the
in and of
wall when they decide to make some of their draft picks.
That's an option to sit in the war room for the
Yes.
Knicks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Be like, look, guys, I know we can take Michael Porter Jr., but this Kevin Knox guy, that's the move. But guys, look, I know there's talent on the board, but have you heard of Frank Ntilikina? His arms are very long.
Or we could
helped
say, hey,
Jordan-
here's an idea. Have you all seen Space Jam? We could do what those little nerdlucks did.
We can try to
We could
steal
just go
somebody else's talent.
Take it from other people.
Draft a terrible team. Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. Well, guys, look, I think that's the perfect way to end the pod. If there's a lesson here, if you guys have a pod suggestion, you're going to make it on the pod. So,
Yeah, this was easy, guys.
So
There are three of y'all. He texted us and said, "Hey, what about this?" And we said, "Yeah, sure. We got nothing better to do." So
deal. But that's the Plainside Podcast. Subscribe, share this. Word of mouth is the best marketing we can get. Give us 5 stars. It really helps. We appreciate you guys. Shoot us your pod ideas. Peace out.
Or like give us 4, because that's pretty good. We'll take that too.
A 4 is good too. I'll take it.
Boycott.
A 4 to 5 range.
Boycott Space Jam 2. Do not go
Boycott
see
Space
it.
Jam 2.
Nobody sees Space Jam 2.